What did you actually want to do before the world told you to be realistic? I want you to actually think about that for a second. I know ever since I was a little girl, I would watch pageants and I wanted to be in a pageant. I watched the TV and I would see the girls wearing their evening gowns and looking beautiful, and I dreamt on being on that stage. And as years passed, I thought that it was impossible for someone like me to be on the stage. Growing up in a small city, Manchester, New Hampshire, I never met anyone that did the things that I wanted to do or that I dreamt of. I never met a girl that competed in pageants, worked on TV. And even though I had those dreams growing up, I because I didn't see myself doing those things, I thought it was impossible. So, I put it on the back burner and I focused on other things in my life. And at the age of 27, I remember I went to a party and it was a very nice holiday party. I met a girl and I started following her on Instagram. And I remember she said that she was competing in pageants and she was in her 30s. And I was like, okay, wow. That was me when I was living in Miami. And of course, in Miami, there's a lot of people that work on TV. There's a lot of models, actresses. But I remember, I'd been living in Miami for a few months at the time, and I saw her post that on Instagram. And I was like, wow, I want to do that too. And I decided to start taking classes. I remember I signed up for modeling classes and just started training for it. And a few months after taking modeling classes, I remember working I was in a pageant in a fashion show, and someone invited me, one of the designers asked me if I wanted to go on TV to model for her. Oh my gosh. I was so excited. I was like, me? I've never been on TV before. And I was so excited and nervous at the same time. I remember showing up. It was in Brickell. It was for RCN. It's a Colombian TV station in Miami, and I was so excited and nervous. And I was, given the clothes that I was going to be modeling. When I went inside the TV station room, so my goodness, it's like nothing that I had ever seen before. I mean, there were like different sections for different segments. There were a lot of people working behind the scenes, the cameras, everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to work on TV. Like, what do I have to do to be able to work on a show like this? And yeah, I did it. I remember I was nervous because it was my first time on TV. And even though I didn't have to speak, I don't know, I was nervous. And I remember after I was so happy. And 3 years later, I was invited to RCN to a show called Hola Latinos, and I was interviewed. Oh my gosh. When I was interviewed, when I remember I was told where it was going to be. And I remember walking into that room and I was so happy. And I was like, oh my God, I remember when I was here 3 years ago. And I was so nervous. And I told them, and they showed me the videos from 3 years before. Um, it was so emotional to see that young girl that had so many dreams and did not know that 3 years later she was going to be invited on that show and be interviewed. And I always tell myself that, the dreams that you have when you're a young child, those are the dreams that you're going to have as an adult. It's just a matter of really digging deep in and finding out what it is that you're truly passionate about. But I do believe getting very clear on your dreams is the first step to becoming the woman you're meant to be. Because if you can have a clarity, then you can move with a purpose. And that's why I'm gonna urge everyone to, number one, purchase my book, The Woman You're Meant to Be, because in that book, I go I go more in depth of the 13 steps that are meant to help you become the woman you're meant to be. And there's also a lot of exercises that I give because I don't think it's just about reading a book. I think it's like what you do with the information. You can read 100 books, but if you don't do anything about it, if you don't practice, if you don't work on yourself, you're not going to have a lot of progress. If I was talking to my younger self right now, I would tell her to take action. Yes, you're scared. Yes, you don't know exactly if things are going to work out, but take action now. You're only one step away from becoming the woman you were always meant to be.